Cayenne pepper is a remarkable herb. It's a blood stimulant. Leviticus 17:11 states that the life of the flesh is in the blood. So anything that moves blood is going to be helpful. It does three main things internally in the blood. It thins the blood, it strengthens the arterial walls, and it opens the capillaries. So let me tell you about an experience I had a few years ago. It was one of our retreats. I got the call, lady'd had a heart attack. I was only 3 minutes away, that's why you have to be fit. I ran down. It was a cooking class with about 16 people, and she was lying on the floor. She was 80, and I said to my offsider, cayenne pepper, quickly. We got the cayenne pepper. Now, there was a guy holding a pulse, and he said the pulse is almost gone. She was just white. So I don't know how much I got. You're just in a hurry. So I think I got about half a teaspoon, put it straight in her mouth. She was half conscious, gave her a little bit of water to drink. The guy holding the pulse yelled out, the pulse is strong. This would have been 2 minutes. And all the blood came back to her face. She sat up and said, what happened? So we sold out of cayenne pepper that program. What did the cayenne pepper do? It thinned the blood, it opened the capillaries and got a dramatic delivery of blood through the whole body. Remember, 1 minute for 1 drop of blood to go around your whole body. What if the person has irritable bowel, Crohn's disease, colitis, gastritis? They can take slippery elm. And slippery elm is the powdered bark of the slippery elm tree. And slippery elm, when you put it with hot water, it goes like a soft jelly, and it coats and soothes the whole lining of the gastrointestinal tract. If someone has Crohn's disease, colitis, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, their colon wall is irritated. And there are some foods that are particularly irritating to the colon if there is irritation there. One is the hybridized wheat of today. Another is dairy. Another is oats, because oats are high in lectins, and lectins can increase inflammation. Peanuts are commonly contaminated with mycotoxins or molds, and refined sugar is like adding kerosene to a fire. So we have seen many people heal from Crohn's disease, and yet Crohn's disease is considered an autoimmune disease. Comfrey is an amazing herb. It contains a growth stimulant. That means it stimulates rapid growth in skin, in muscles, in tendons, in ligaments, in bone. And that's why its nickname is knit bone. And that's why I cut half the plaster off when I broke my arm, and I put comfrey poultices on there every single day because I wanted that to heal, and I wanted it to heal quickly. So that's comfrey. Comfrey contains a growth stimulant. It's called allantoin. Stimulates rapid healing. Comfrey also contains a lubricant. So it's a great herb to put anywhere where there's joints. And when I saw the x-ray of my bones knitting nicely after 4 weeks, I thanked God that the break was there and not in there with all of those little bones. There's always something to be thankful for. So comfrey contains a growth stimulant. It also has a lubricant, so it's great for any joint problems. And it also is anti-inflammatory. The hawthorn berry strengthens the heart. The amazing thing about this hawthorn berry is if you've got low blood pressure, it'll bring it up. If you've got high blood pressure, it'll bring it down. And the hawthorn berry, you can drink it as a tea. If you drink it as a tea, you can buy the dried berries. And if you drink it as a tea, it's 2 teaspoons of the dried berry to 1 cup of water. And that's simmered. Because it's a berry, you'd simmer it. That simmers for 10 minutes. And if someone wanted to conquer their high blood pressure, they would have at least 4 cups of that a day. Some people find it just easy to get it in a tablet or a capsule form. And if you do get it in a tablet or a capsule form, you would probably take 4,000 milligrams a day. Very safe herb. Now there's a nerve nourisher. Does anyone remember the nerve nourisher?
St. John's wort.
St. John's wort. St. John's wort can be taken in a couple of ways. It can be taken as a supplement, and it can also be massaged into the spine as an oil. Now, we had a man come to us with Parkinson's. He came with his wife, the 8 laws of health, started little by little on the coconut. Now, what if someone just can't stand coconut at all? What do you do? Make a chocolate. Make a chocolate. Now, if they don't have cancer, you can put a little maple syrup in there and make it a little bit tastier. But if, they have a brain tumour, we want to keep that sugar down. Because cancer cells consume 15 times the glucose of any other cell. Anyway, this man that came to our program, he was in his 70s. And when we looked at his history, looking at the cause, a lot of exposure to chemicals. But let me tell you about this man that had Parkinson's that came to our retreat and implemented all the things we're looking at. His specialist that he went to the specialist every 6 months. Once he started implementing this, he stopped deteriorating. And the specialist couldn't believe it. So every 6 months that he saw the specialist, in the last 3 years, he deteriorated more and more and more, came to Misty Mountain Health Retreat, learned how to give his body the right conditions, and he stopped deteriorating. So women apply it twice a day, morning and night, 3 weeks a month. Whereas a man applies it once a day with no break. Why would a woman use the cream? She would use the cream for all the symptoms that I explained earlier. For premenstrual tension, for heavy periods, painful periods, for ovarian cysts, for fibroids in the uterus, for depression, for thyroid. A man would apply the yam cream for low sperm count. One man said to me, "This stuff just puts lead in his pencil." Another man took it because he was not happy with the fact that he was so feminine. And we've had a few men take it to help with prostate problems. One man came to us, he was 65, and he was taking a 3-monthly injection to balance his hormones. You see, high estrogen causes high testosterone, which converts into another type of testosterone that inflames the prostate. So he decided to stop taking the injection and go on the HIS cream. He implemented something else, which I've touched on a few times this week, which is the 8 laws of health. He started to exercise. He started to go to bed a bit earlier. He stopped his daily coffee. He started to eliminate wheat and eat more legumes. And he applied the yam cream. His wife emailed me 10 months later. She said his testosterone level are the best levels they've ever been. Golden Seal, again, it's called King of Tonics to all mucous membranes. So you've got mucous membranes in the eye, you've got mucous membranes in your sinus, you've got mucous membranes in your bladder, and that's why it's very good for urinary tract infection. It can help to heal a stomach ulcer, and also in the colon if it's inflamed and raw. It will help to heal. But something else that it's become popular for, it's antimicrobial, so it's antibacterial, it's even anti-staphylococci. And you know, medicine has no answer for golden staph, but God does. It's called golden seal. Remarkable herb. It is very expensive, but you do not need very much. You can get it in a fine powder. That is another herb that I travel with. I travel with cayenne pepper, I travel with Celtic or Baja salt, and I travel with golden seal. So you can get Baja salt is another one that's very, very similar. The Baja salt is on another pristine place in Mexico, and it's a hand-harvested sea salt as well. And because it's a hand-harvested sea salt, they retain the minerals. In fact, they retain approximately between 82 and 84 of the minerals. In seawater, there's approximately 92 minerals. So where are the rest? Well, that last 10 are in such tiny proportions, pico amounts. A pico is a measurement that's barely measurable, that it's inevitable that some of them are lost in the process of harvesting the salt. And the wind, it comes across these areas, so the salt is dried very quickly. And because it's dried very quickly, there are a lot of mineral gases locked up in the crystal. So I prefer to find myself as crystals. If you take that little crystal of Celtic salt before every glass of water, you're getting part per million iodine amounts of iodine, but little by little by little. That is the best way to take iodine into the body. And iodine is the main food used by the thyroid gland. So that's an interesting piece of information that I wanted to share with you while I share about how we get minerals